Does a boy from Springfield end up in the chair?
Let's see. Let's try to make this story not too long. Well, I would say it's probably due primarily to my parents. They encouraged me to go to college. They've always set a good example for me, wanting to serve others, and I thought, what better way to go into the military? So I was able to go to college on a scholarship in ROTC, and decided I wanted to fly, and the rest is history, I guess.
And you learned to fly in the service?
I did. I hadn't flown before I got in. When I was a small boy, I wanted to be a pilot. And when I had the opportunity to go to college on a scholarship, go into the Navy, and apply for flight school, then I took that chance.
Yeah. You had mentioned when we first came on board, you were a Tomcat driver at one point.
I was.
For those of us who are children of the 70s and 80s, there's a touchstone there, as I see the patch on your shoulder as well. You're part of a pretty special breed of pilots.
I don't know if I'm part of a special breed. I would say that all naval aviators are special. I was just given the opportunity to attend the Top Gun course, and then given the even better opportunity to be an instructor for 3 years after that. So I'd say it was more just an opportunity. I was in the right place at the right time, and those that had trained me had gotten me prepared for that.
Sure. We all know the Hollywood version. Did it make you a better pilot? Did it make you a better officer? What did you get from it?
I would say it did both. One, certainly made me a better pilot because you're focused for the entire time you're going through the course, and then as an instructor on tactical flying. There's very little administrative burden. It's all about training. It's all about development of tactics and going out and making sure those tactics work. So it absolutely made me a better pilot because I was given that opportunity. Most of our pilots don't have that opportunity to focus just on one aspect of their job, because our primary job is a naval officer, and secondary we are pilots. But I was given that opportunity for, like I said, for 3 years to focus almost solely on flying and tactics. Now, the second piece that made me a better officer is that I got to work with a staff of about 50 that were at Top Gun, that were just the most dedicated and most committed naval officers that I've ever worked with.
Help me put in perspective the difference between being a naval aviator and anything else. We saw during the rain, we saw at night, taking off and landing on a pitching deck. That is something that most pilots could never do. Am I right?
I don't know. Well, I don't want to say most pilots couldn't do it. Certainly we have capable pilots in all of our military branches, and I wouldn't say that we're the best. That'd probably be a pretty bold statement. But we do have to do some things that other pilots and other services don't have to do, I should say so. And not everyone makes it, so we do have an attrition rate because it is so challenging. But it's important for us to maintain the highest standard for the safety, not only themselves, but the aircraft, which are multi-million-dollar airframes, but then our flight deck crews and everyone that's supporting us. They need to be good at what they do, or they're going to have to do something else.
They're entrusted with some pretty expensive hardware, and you know what it's like to fly these planes. Is that how you become the captain? Do you need to be an aviator first?
You do. On an aircraft carrier, all of our captains and executive officers are either naval aviators or naval flight officers, so they have a flight background. They also have command background, so you have to have had command, typically at the squadron level. In fact, right now, all of our captains and executive officers have had squadron command. So you have command of a squadron, and then again, it just comes down to opportunity. So I was able to have a very successful command tour based on the performance of my crew. They were just fantastic, and everything they did was successful. And of course, that reflected on me, whether that was right or wrong. And then with my educational background, it afforded me the opportunity to be selected to go into this program. It's a long road. There's a lot of training in school that goes on once you're selected, but I'm pretty fortunate to be here.
Big payoff.
It's a great payoff. Like I said, you can look outside. We're going to have a helicopter flying here in a few seconds. He's getting ready to take off, and we've got a nice day. The weather's much better than yesterday, and we'll be doing day and night flight operations. So we're looking forward to that.
You're also effectively the mayor of a city of about 5,000 people, or maybe the king. I'm not sure what the right title is, but what's the hardest part of that? You have to manage thousands of people.
Boy, hardest part. Well, I don't manage thousands of people, so I have tremendous leadership on board this ship. Many of them are very senior, and each of them has a group of sailors. Some of them have 400, 500, 600 sailors that they're responsible for. So it really comes down to delegation and trust and confidence in the leaders that are underneath me, and they manage the sometimes mayhem. Certainly, the executive officer, I would probably classify him more as the mayor. He is really doing the heavy lifting when it comes to the daily operations of the ship, other than the operations up here on the flight deck, navigating the ship, defending the ship, fighting the ship, which I have, again, the great opportunity to do on a daily basis. He's managing a lot of the other things, making sure that the crew is fed, that they have all the services, all the resources they need to do their job. Training them as well, he plays a significant role. We're going to get ready for a general quarters drill here in a few minutes, so you'll get to see that and get to see some of the pretty intense ship-wide training that we do here.
I guess in closing, as you prepare for deployment, do you look forward to that as a sailor and a warrior? Do you crave that? Is that where you feel like you belong?
I do. I think it's the highlight of what we do. Everything up to that point is preparation for deployment. All of us at some point, for whatever reason we came into the Navy, have a desire to go out and do the job, defend our country, serve the ones that appointed our elected leaders, and then our elected leaders that decide our course of action. And I think all of us want to get out there and do that. What we're doing today, while it's exciting, it's really just to get us to that point where we're prepared and ready for whatever mission gets assigned to us.